All right. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, what are we going to do? We are going to learn how to, we're going to learn how to do the abacus. I need to do 7 a.m. Yep, there we go. All right, sorry. Hello, 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 good morning. Okay, what are we doing? We are going to learn how to read the abacus. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Hello. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to understand how to write this number. 7,453. When we look on the abacus, we're going to do 7,453. Why? Because whenever the beads are touching the reckoning bar, they're considered counted. Does that mean? So because it's considered counted, because the beads are touching the reckoning bar, they are considered counted. So this is 7. How do I know that this is 7? This is 7 because we have 5, 6, and then 7. Notice that the top bead will always be 5 no matter what. The top bead is 5, so we have 7. The bottom beads are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What we're doing is we're looking at 7,453. The top bead is 5, so it's touching the reckoning bar. We have 3, 1, 2, 3. Hello, Derek. Good morning. Good morning, Derek. How's it going? Thank you so much. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Good morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
So that's what we have. We're using a 4-digit number. We're using 4 columns in the abacus. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what these are. They're the 4 digits. So our next number we're going to do is 9,229. That's what we're doing. 9,229. The reason why they're being counted is because we need these numbers. Notice that these two beads are not being counted. So what does that mean? That means that they are not touching the reckoning bar. They're not being counted. We have good morning. Good morning, Joseph.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city.
Good morning, Joseph. How are we this morning? Okay, so we're going to do 9,000. How do I know that this is 9,000? This is 9,000 because the top bead is a value of 5. And then we have 4 bottom beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. So because we have 5 on the top and 4 on the bottom, that is considered 9. We have 2, 1, 2. The 5 is not touching the reckoning bar, and the bottom bead is not touching the reckoning bar. So that means that there's only 2 beads touching the reckoning bar. This is where we get 200. How do I get hundreds? Because if this is the ones, the tens, the hundreds. Now every column is a place value. So we have our hundreds, tens, and ones. The next one is 20. Why? Because there's two tens, right, in the tens column. And then we have 9. We have 9 again. 9. Remember, 5 plus 4 is 9. Good morning, Bourne Bridge. Good morning. All right. So our next number is what? What's our next number? This is our next number. Our next number is going to be 7,645. So we have 7,645. That looks like this. 7, 5, and then 2 is equal to 7. 5 and 6, right? Because look, if 5 and 2 is equal to 7, 5 and 6 is equal to 5 and 1 is equal to 6. Then we have 4, and then we have 1. Notice that none of these beads are here on the 5 is touching the reckoning bar, so they're not being counted. This one, the 5 is not being counted, so that is away from the reckoning bar. These 3 beads are not touching the reckoning bar, so these are not counted. That's how we get 6. So we have 7, 6, 4, 5. That's what this number is. Good morning. Thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much. So now all I'm doing is I'm coloring the maze that we're no longer, with a maze path that we're not using. And I'm just showing you what these numbers are. Because we have our next number, which is 1,833. Easy. Simple to use, easy to understand. We have 1,000. 1 is touching the reckoning bar. We have 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 100. How do I know they're hundreds? Because now we got to look at the positioning of the columns. We have our ones, tens, hundreds, and thousands. And so then we have 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's what this number is. 1,833. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Good morning. So our next number is going to be 3,043. So thank you, Andreas. Thank you so much. Oh, where is my... Okay, got it. Okay, good morning. Thank you. Come on. There you go. Thank you for the rose. Thank you, thank you. All right, so what are we doing? We are going to do 3,043. So on the abacus, we're going to do 3,000, 1, 2, 3. We have 0. 0 means that none of the beads are touching the reckoning bar. And then we have 40. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what 40 looks like, right? Just like on our numbers. And then 3. 1, 2, 3. We have our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. That's what we're doing. So when we're looking, right, we're just looking at every column is a place value. We have 3, easy. So if I add the 5, this becomes 8. But that's not it, right? We got to do 3. 1, 2, 3. If I add the 5 to the 4, right, we have 9. We're not looking for 9, we're looking for 4. So that's why the 5 is not touching the reckoning bar. We have the 0. The 0 is like a placeholder, just like how we do it, just like how we have it in when we write it, right? 0 is our placeholder. If not, then this would have been 343, but it's not. There's a placeholder. That's why this is a placeholder. And then we have 3,000. Again, we don't have the top bead touching the reckoning bar. If we did, that would be considered 8. But we take it away, it is now 3. So it's 3,043. That's what that means. So our next number here is, right here, our next number would be this. What number do you think this is? For those of you that are just joined, what number do you think this is? Thank you, Komar, so much for sharing the live. Thank you, Andreas, for the dolphin. Okay, thank you, Gianna. Yes, it is 5,997. Yes, that is well done, well done. Thank you, Prince. Yes. It is not 6, it is 7. 6 looks like that. 7 looks like this. Yeah. Yes, thank you. So that's the number, 5,997. So we have our next number. What is our next number? Our next number is this one right here. What number do you think that is? So we have our thousands, we have our hundreds, our ones, and our tens. What number do you think that is? What number do you think that is? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Well done, Burgie. Yes, thank you, Indiana. There you go. Thank you, Indiana and Burgie. Yes, you're right. So it is 1,812. 1 and a 2. So we have 1, 8. The top bead is a value of 5. And then the 3 bottom beads together, they make 8. And then we have 1, and then we have 2. So here we have 7,000. So when we're going to do a review, we're going to do 7,285. That's what that looks like. So when we look, we have 7. The top bead is touching the reckoning bar, right? And then the 2 bottom beads is touching the reckoning bar, making it 7. So we have 2. Notice these 2 look very similar. The only difference is that the 5 is not touching the reckoning bar. It is not touching the horizontal bar. So this is why this is 2. This is 7. This is 2. Then we have 8, right? We have 8 because 5 plus 3 is 8. Notice that the 4 beads are not touching the reckoning bar here. This is why this is only 5. That's what that means. So our next number here is 7,594. So that's the reason why this is not 7,594 is because we have 7 over here. 5, 6, 7. This is 1. Now we're going to do 5. 5 is only going to be the top bead. Because this is only going to be the top bead, we have 5. None of these beads are at the bottom. None of these bottom beads are touching the reckoning bar. This is not. These are not counted. This is 9. So this is what 9 looks like. 9 is 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. You'll notice what? You'll notice that the 4 looks very similar to 9. The only difference is the 5 is not being counted. Because we have the 9 and then this is 4, the 5 is not counted. That's how we get 4 out of this. So I'm going to color this color because it's not part of the maze. Tati, if it's too early, you can step off. I'm just saying. That is not a comment that I appreciate. If it's too early, you can leave. You are not here you're here on your own. I'm not here to force you. Thank you, Alex. I never knew. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, what's our next number? Man, okay, you guys are you're gonna have to step off. Everybody needs to step off. If it's too early, you can leave. Either that, or you need to wake up earlier. Or what? Pull all-nighter. Okay, I've always wanted to learn. Thank you, Taz. Of course, not a problem. All right. Messy kitty. Messy. You're too messy in the morning. Okay, sorry. So we have, what number do we think this is? What number do we think this is? Thank you, Daily Runes. What number do you think this is? What here? We have our thousands, we have our hundreds, we have our tens, and then we have our ones. What number do we think that is? It is not 2, Taz. Oh, yeah, this is 2. You're right. This is 2. But when we're looking at it, it's going to be 2,000. 2,000. You know what I mean? Yes, thank you, Purple Garlic. Ah, that's a good one. Yes, Purple Garlic. 2,598. Yes, thank you, Taz. Yes, right? So it makes sense because we have the 2 beads on the bottom that's touching the reckoning bar. We have the 1 bead on top. This is always going to be the value of 5, no matter what. And then is this a summer game? No, I will be continuing on with this. I am here to explain the matrix, what the abacus is. This is trying to pick it up. I've watched you do this once and I learned how. Oh, hey, Ambrim. Okay, so then we have 9. We have 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. And then we have 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. So that's what that looks like. That's what this number is. So it's 2,598. Every column is a placeholder. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, and our thousands. So why isn't it 3,031? Because 3 looks like this. 1 is actually the bottom bead like that. This is another 3. That means we got to remove all these other numbers to make a 3. 1, 2, 3, and then we want to do 1. This is too many, right? We want to do only 1. So that's what this means. So we have 3,131. That's what that is. So that's why we didn't, this is why this is not the path to the box. Why is it not this one? Well, this one is 4, right? We did 3. Now we're going to add the 1. We're going to do 300, 1, 2, 3, and then we do 9. Remember that 9 is all the beads touching the reckoning bar. And then we have 8. We have 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. You want a calculator? That's all we're doing. 4, 3, 9, 8. There's your calculator, but we didn't do anything. All we're doing is we're reading the abacus. It was or whatever number. Yes, exactly, Admiral. So every bead is always, all the top bead will always be 5. So we wanted to do this. That's what 5 is. So this would be 55,555. I don't know why you would need a calculator to tell you what these numbers are. Seashore, that's the dumbest comment. You just write it out. We're not doing any adding. Okay, there we are. right? It doesn't make sense. I need a calculator to read. Why? You write it out. Anyways, so yes, thank you, Abram, right? So if I did 55,555.55, that's it. You know what I mean? So what is it? So if we did 99,000, all I got to do is make this 0, and then I do 99. So the top bead will always be a value of 5. That's how we know what's higher. So if this is 4, we add the 5. When we look at it, we do 1, we add the 5, we have 6. We do 2, add the 5, we have 7. We do 3, add the 5, it is 8. We have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, add the 5, and then we have 9. Does that make sense? It's the same thing with Roman numerals. I did Roman numerals. Maybe this would help, right? If I did 1, right, that's what 1 looks like. 2, Roman numerals, just looks like that. 3, 1, 2, 3, just looks like that, right? Thank you, Abram. Let him cook. This is 4. Hold on, Abram. Let me finish my thought. Thank you for the tiny diny. Yes. No, it's a perfect valid question because you're trying to learn and you're like, why are we learning this? The reason why would be to visualize our numbers. This is what 5 looks like, right? 6 looks like 6, right? Just like we're in Roman numerals, there's a 5 and then there's a 7, right? 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. This is 8. This is 8. Right? Okay. So yes, serious question. Why would this be used for? So it depends on where you are in life. If you have kids, then you would introduce this to teach them number sense and number fluency. Because after this, we would start going into adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. You can do all of that. So then what's the other question? Well, what if I don't have kids? That's fine too. I've noticed that there's a lot of older people that are utilizing this because they want to know how to keep their brain active. So it's like, doing puzzles, right? Sudoku, crossword puzzles, jigsaw puzzles. We do all of these like little activities and little hobbies to keep our brains active. So that's why I would use it. Because I'm older, I would use it. My kids are grown. My kids are now going into high school. So I wouldn't push my kids to learn to do this in high school because high school can get very, very complicated, right? Very, very packed with a lot of things. They're doing sports, they're doing, whatever they're learning, which is fine. But maybe afterwards, if they're, when they start going into the job market or they're going into and they have some extra time, then they could start doing some abacus, which is another form of Sudoku. Sudoku, right, is a logical puzzle, but abacus is about arithmetic. We're just adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So the first thing we're doing is we're learning how to read the abacus. Then that's where the kids come in. The kids would come into what? The kids would come in and they would start understanding how to read the numbers. Then we go into adding, right? That goes into more complex stuff. Why would I would try to get it before they start doing algebra. The reason why is because there's a lot of algebraic elements in arithmetic. But in mainstream school, we don't teach that way. But in abacus, we do teach that way. So it kind of leads into going into algebra, which is crazy. But thank you, Abram. Yes. Does that make sense? And it's it's a very valid question because it just depends on where you are in your season of life. Hello. Good morning. I am bored again.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
So our next number is, thank you so much for checking in. For those of you that are interested, please, good morning. Go ahead and check in the orange heart me where my forehead is. Okay, good. Good morning, Shar. Good morning. So we're going to do the next number, which is 4,398. The reason why it is not this number is actually 2,598. So we're going to do 4,000. We do 4,398. Which looks kind of different than the 2,000. Haha, thank you for that. You like the stickers? So we have 4,000, right? 339. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The top beat is not touching the reckoning bar, so it's not counted. Again, the top beat and these bottom beats are not counted. That's why this is 3. This is 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. And then we have 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. How does this system math work? I'm telling you right now. I love the stickers. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, I do too. I think it's better than the emojis. So what is our next number? For those of you that have been here for a little bit, let me know what you think this next number is. That's what I want to learn. Hello, Mackling. So what is our next number? If I have my thousands, my hundreds, my tens, and my ones, what number do we think that is? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for keeping your mind open. For those of you, please keep your mind open.
Now, open your mind to me, please. Open your mind.
Yes, almost, Mackling, because 23 is not, no, there's no 23. I see what you did. No, they're not, you don't combine them all. They're every individual placeholder. So thank you, I am bored again. It is 1,252. Because why? This is 1, and we talk about our placeholders, place values. We have 1,150. The top bead will always be 5, and then the bottom beads, right, always has a value of 1. That's why we bring them together for 2. That's what that means. So we have 1,152. Thank you, I am bored again. Yes, thank you. That's what it is. So when we're looking, we have 1,152. So then, I don't know, what is our next number? Oh, maybe I should do that. Yeah. So what is our next number? When we're looking, oh, I see. No, we're not on that one. We're on, no, we're not on that one either. Good morning, Chaotic! Good morning, Chaotic!
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city!
Yeah. You know what? If you want to wait for a little bit, if Chaotic, if you want to wait for a little bit, I'm getting it in stock. I think it's coming in Sunday. I was ordering it all, and now I'll have it ready for you. If you want to wait for a little bit. Oh, that's right. You never got your package. Did you ask for a you never got it? I should not. Okay, never mind. Okay. Getting ready 6,000. Japanese taught it failed this concept miserably. I'm sorry, Light. Never mind, you lost me. Okay. Yeah. Just see. Yeah, just see. I know we talked about it. Just see. If not, I don't think it's a... anyways. So we have our next number. We have 1,000. Thank you, Mackling. It is not 2. It is 5. It is 6. Why? Because we have the top beat as a value of 5. We have the bottom beat as a value of 1. 5 plus 1 is 6. This is a 0, which you got, and then this is 1. Thank you so much, Chaotic. Thank you, Giselle, so much for the gift. Must be. Thank you. Must be. Yo. Thank you. Yes, Ever Paul. Yes, thank you. It is 1,605. That's what it is. Because how do we get it? Well, all the bottom beads is a value of 1. So 1, 1, 1. But there's this top bead. This top bead is touching the reckoning bar. Hello, Tappy. Good morning, Tappy.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
So when we're looking, right, these two are not touching the reckoning bar, so they're not counted. So that's why these are 1. This is a 1. This is a 1. So we have 1,601. That's what it is. So that's what that is. Now, what happens is, what is this number? Well, this number looks like this, 1,094. We have 1,094. That's what that looks like. So we have 1,090. 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. Notice that we have 4 here. The top bead is not touching the reckoning bar. So the 9 and the 4 looks very similar. I wrote it out and I was... I'm learning math at night. Oh, hey, where are you, Mackling? And so when we're looking, we have the 9 and the 4 looks very similar. The only difference is this 5. So the 5 is not touching the reckoning bar. So that's why it is 4. I'm just going to color it in this way. There you go. Easy, simple to use, easy to understand, right, Shar? I'm telling you, you just take a little bit of time to understand and you'll get it. You will get it. So what is our next number? What number do you think this is? What number do you think this is? We have our thousands, our tens, our ones. I'm sorry. Our thousands, our hundreds, tens, and then ones. What number is this? What number do you think this is? Thank you must be for the... I didn't see that. Thank you so much for the hat. It is 1092. Thank you, Bite Size. Thank you, Starlight. Yes. Thank you, Miss Monica. Thank you, Shar. Yes. I am bored again. You got 1000. Okay, so that's what it is. 1092. But it is not 8,255. What does that look like? That looks like this. 8,255. That's it. Yes. Yes, Sammy. All the top bead is a value of 5. So when we're looking, this is 55. 5, 5. I figured out how to spell. That's funny. That's funny. So on this abacus, we're doing 8. No, that's not 8. That's 8, right? What I did was 7. This is 8. 8,255. Right? So what we're doing is we're understanding how to read the abacus, and that's it. This is my book. This book is going to be available later today. I just haven't posted it yet. Oh, we got to do these ones. Sorry. I'm not done. I'm not done. All right. What is our next number? What is our next number? So, for those of you that are interested, I have a whole collection. Over here. I'm building my collection in my TikTok shop. Okay, so what number is this? We have our thousands, we have our hundreds, tens, and ones. What number do we think that is? Thank you, Everpaul. Yes, so it's 8,374. 70 looks like that. 6 looks like that. It's a very slight positioning of the beads, but we have to pay attention to the individual beads because it's all about working the beads. Why? Because if it's not, then it's the wrong answer. Just like how we write. So we have to make sure that we have that extra bit. Okay. So that's what this is. 8,374. That's what that is. Okay. And then our final answer is, what is our final answer? Thank you, Paul. What's our final answer? So we have our next number is, oh, I see. That's out of stock. I'm sorry. It should have been this one. That's the one. So if you're looking for an abacus, I do sell these abacus available in my shop. So our next number is 1,604. Well done. Thank you. I am bored again. You got it. 1,604. Thank you. 1,604. Well done. Well done. For those of you who are interested, yes, this is made out of plastic and the beads are easy to move. You bump the table, then you're SOL. Because why? Because the beads are easy to move. Because the beads are easy to move, your answers are going to become wrong. You want to be able to stabilize the abacus with your left hand. All right. So that's what this book is. This book is a lot about my mazes. And I was just trying to find a different way to explain what these numbers are. Yeah. I got to go back to do the other numbers. Okay, so we're done with that. We're done. All right. What are we going to do now? What we're going to do now is we're going to understand how to move the beads. Right? What happens is we know how to read the beads, and that's the biggest thing. Oh, that's a good question. We don't use I don't use it very often because they're in the decimals. 90. Is there an E in 90? Alexa, how do you spell 90?
90 is spelled N-I-N-E.
Oh, yeah. You're right, I'm on board. So we have our decimal, it's our decimals. So we have our ones. When we look, we have our ones. Our decimal sits between our tenths and our hundreds. So when we have 1 decimal, 10, and then hundreds. Oh. So here we are. I forgot how to spell it. Yeah, I forgot to spell some words too. I understand. So if this is the number 60,000, 60,000 looks like that. That's what 60,000 looks like, right? And then we have 6,000. Remember that there's a comma? Because there's a comma, this helps us break up our numbers. That's what the dots are for. The dots helps us breaks our numbers up. And then we have 600. 600 is this, 600. Why? Because this is our ones place, and then these two are zeros. So that's what 6 is. 6 is a 5 and a 1 together is a 6. We have 60. 60 is in our tens place, just how this is. This is the tens, this is the tens. So we have 6 in the tens place. And then we have 6 in the ones place. But notice I have my other two numbers. I have 6.25. That's what that means. So we have 6.25. 25. Because our decimal sits between our ones and our tenths. And that's it. So if we did this one, I think I did this one. So here, if we're just doing it some more, I clear my abacus. This is 0. If I want to show 99,000, I do 99,000, and that's it. Okay? So when we're looking, we want to pay attention to this. It's all about where you are in the positioning. So if you wanted to use this one, notice that these are groupings, but you could use this one to be your home plate, your home.
Pokemon, I choose you!
So if I choose this one like a Pokemon, then, oh, that's the wrong one. Then ones would be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. That's what it would look like. But then you'll notice, right, that's what it would be. What happened? Then we're going to have 1.00001. That would be a very, very small number. Now this is the knowledge I didn't learn in university. Yeah, and also you're not doom scrolling, you're learning something instead of just passively watching, right? So now you know you can actually use decimals on the abacus. It just depends on what your number is. What can you do with it? You can do some adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. That's what you can do on the abacus. We can do basic arithmetic. That's what we do. Basic arithmetic. You add, subtract, multiply, divide. That's what we can do on the abacus. So that's what I showed you, right? We had the dot. And then if you notice, if I choose this one to be my ones place.
Okay, Charizard, I choose you!
Oh, that's why I did that. Okay. I gotta take that out. There we go. All right. Sorry. Just keep going. For those of you that are interested, thank you so much for joining. Please keep your mind open for something different.
Now open your mind to me, please. Open your mind.
Hello, Eve. You're right. It is 7:40 in the morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you have the salt? That's not a dumb question. That's not a dumb question. The only difference is just the amount of beads, the amount of digits. So if you need a 13-column abacus, is what I have here, you can use more numbers. That's all. And then if you wanted to, you could use it for multiplication and division. Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Eve. Yes, because size matters. Does that make sense, Salt? Because that's not a dumb question. The dumb question is, if I show you this number, you needed a calculator. That's a dumb question. You know what I mean? If you just look at the paper, then that's what it is. That's not, you know what I mean? So for this is a 13-column abacus. A 13-column abacus works exactly the same. So if I line it up, we have our ones, right? And our ones. And then we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5. We have 5, right? And then 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. It's just a bigger number, right? Now we have more that we can play with. We have our ones, thousands, and then we can do millions now. This one can only go to thousands. We have ones and then thousands. This only goes up to 10,000s. But then if you choose, just like your Pokemon, right? If you choose this one to be your ones place, then you go ones, thousands, millions, and then billions. Right? But guess what? If you wanted, thank you, I am bored again for being new. Thank you. Hello, Karma. Good morning. Good morning. And then if you look here, if you choose this one, right? If you choose this one to be your Pokemon.
Okay, Charizard, I choose you!
Right? This is your ones. Then you have your ones, thousands, millions, billions, and then trillions. That's it. So when we're looking, the bigger one is just more numbers. Yes, because size matters. I'm just saying. But I usually use this one because it's prettier. And the colors mean nothing. If you're colorblind, it is not an excuse. Because there was one person that was like, I'm colorblind and I can't. No, it doesn't. It's all about the positioning of the beads. So when you're looking, it's all. I'm obviously new here. Yes, I am bored again. So why not a calc? Really? Why not a calculator? You need a calculator to tell you that this is 2? You need a calculator to tell you that this is 7? Well, I don't understand why you need a calculator to read the numbers. Why do you need a calculator to tell me that this is 4? Why do you need a calculator that tells me that this is, I don't know, 9? Wait till she does the math. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I'm more invested with the colorful one. Yeah, I like the colorful one too. But that's the reason why there's 2 different sizes. I think that if there was a 13 column bead abacus that was colorful, I think it'd be kind of overwhelming to the eyes. Wait, I don't understand. You're late. I've been on for so long. So when we're looking, let's do a little review. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Because apparently Josh needs a calculator to tell me that this is 4. Maybe we have to go back to kindergarten and talk about pencils and pens. There we go. 4 pens. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need a calculator to show me that this is 4. That's dumb. That's so dumb. So then we have 4, and then this is 5. Why do the ones start in the middle? Thank you, Jake. The reason why is because every column has a place value, and I have a marker. This marker right here tells me that this is the ones place. So does that make sense? So now, because I have the ones place, I know that I start here. We have our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Thank you, Jake. That is a very good question. That's a good question. Don't tell me you're going to use a calculator to tell me that this is 5. Okay, always one. Yes, thank you. Yes, decimals. So decimals sits between the ones and the tenths. So when we're looking, right, the decimal sits here. So if I had a number 0, 5, all I got to do is do 0 and then 5. That's what that would look like. Right? And then what happens? If I wanted to do, what's the number? 60, 20, yeah. So if I wanted to do 6, 25, all I got to do is 6, 5 on the top, 1 on the bottom, together is 6. We know 5 plus 1 is 6, and then 20, and then 5. 5 is always going to be the top bead. That's it. Oh my God, Josh needs a calculator for 6.25. You're right. Right. Sorry. Imagine being so lazy, one question at the point of learning the different way. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You want to do is, so your calculator is using tells you it's 4. Yeah, so many triangles there. Right? So what we're doing is we're just learning to read the abacus. That's all we're doing right now. Then we're going to start going into adding and subtracting. Haha, poor Josh. I'm tired of that stupid comment. I just use a calculator. Just use a calculator. Ah, right. Anyways. Don't be trolling, because I'll cook them. Anyways, so does that make sense? Starting to, oh good, no, yeah. And you know, the questions I don't do certain things, like I don't show you where the decimal place because I want you to be actively learning. I want to know why are we starting here and I don't start here because I have a marker. That's not a dumb question. That's a very valid question. You have very valid questions. It makes sense. If you're trying to smack a joke, I will smack it back to you. So, going back to the marker, right? Notice I have two separate markers. We have one marker here, one marker here. This is like my thousands. So just like how we have a comma, right? We have our 6. This would be 6,000. We have our 6 and it's in the thousands place. That's why we have the comma. That's why this marker's here. And when we look, we have our bigger abacus. Every section, every group has a comma. So if we had this to be my ones, this would be my thousands, this would be millions, and then this would be billions. All right. So what are we doing now? What we're going to do is we're going to start going into understanding how to move the abacus. When we're moving the abacus, what are we doing? Well, let's understand how to move the abacus. Thank you everybody for following. Thank you so much for joining. Please keep your mind open for something different.
Now open your mind to me, please. Open your mind.
So we have this. This is my preschool book. It is right now it is sold out. However, I'm gonna have it in stock in probably September. Not September. Sunday. I'm hoping it's gonna be Sunday. So in the beginning of the book, we talk about how to read the abacus, and this is for preschoolers. This is for children that are 3, 4, and 5, and this is activities on understanding what the numbers look like. So yeah, thank you, Grind. Good. Yes. I'm happy you know. That just tells me that world. Thank you. I am bored again for the hearts. These are for preschoolers. This book is for preschoolers, but we're going to get into doing something more. So we have our numbers, and then we have activities. Because we have activities, right? We're just solidifying the number of what the number is. We go to 9. And then again, there's more activities. I do a lot of coloring, cutting, pasting. There's going to be tracing. Actually, there's no tracing. And then there's coloring. So these are the activities. This is how you count forward. This is how you count backwards. And then after you count backwards, you can count in between. So this is a flip through of my book. This is talking about the relationships of the numbers. If I give you the number that's in between, we have... Oh, I got to get... Yeah. That book won't be here till Sunday. Thank you. I am bored again. I like my stickers. Okay, so then after that, then we talk about the bigger than and this. So there's comparison, and after comparison, then we talk about understanding how to add. This is where we are. Now, in Abacus World, what we do is we focus in on the second number. The second number is this one right here. We are not going to memorize our... Hello, Nom Nom. Thank you for checking in. Good morning.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city! Good morning, city!
Thank you, off-duty alibi. Well done. Thank you. Thank you for checking in. So for those of you that are interested, we have our number is 7. How do we get 7 on the abacus? 5, right, plus 2 is 7. We have our reckoning bar. Our reckoning bar counts our numbers. We want to add the 1. Can we do it? Can we add the 1? Yes, we can, because we have this extra bead that we can just add the 1. So now my final answer is 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. Easy? So what we're doing is we're learning how to read the abacus. We're learning to move the beads. So we have 7 on the abacus. Notice they go to the reckoning bar. Thank you so much for the share. So we have 7. Because this is 7, why is it 7? Because it's touching the reckoning bar. None of these columns are touching the reckoning bar. None of these beads are touching the reckoning bar, so these are not counted. This is not counted. But we need to add the 2. Can we add the 2? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can add the 2. All we got to do is just add these 2 beads. That's all we're doing. So what we're doing is we're just moving the beads. It doesn't matter which 2 beads. It can be these 2 beads. So if I have 6, I can move these 2 beads to go up. It doesn't matter which 2 beads, just 2 beads. So I have 5, and then I want to move these 2 beads, right? So I'm looking at the second number. That's what we're trying to focus on. So in mainstream math, you could do dots, which is fine. You could do dots. You could do dots, or you could do tally marks, which is fine. I love his comment. It's so dramatic. But in Abacus, we use the beads. So 5 on the Abacus and then add the 3. Not a problem. So my final answer is 8. What we're looking at is now you can supertize. Supertizing means that when you look at this number, you know what it is. I know that this is 8. I don't need to worry about it. Now, if I did this, I know this is 80. How do I know? Because I have my 1s and I have my 10s. I know, depending on the positioning of the beads and which column it is, what number this would be. But now, if I wanted to add 50 plus 30, I have 80. You could do dots. That's a whole lot of dots. This is 80 dots. How do I know? Because I drew it. But this is 50 dots here, and this is 30 dots here. That's a whole lot of counting for a young child. I'm just saying. I mean, it's great to see what it is, but there's a scientific research saying that our brain can only see, up to 5 objects. So that's why it is here, right? And so what we're doing is we're understanding how to read the abacus. You can scale it. You can do 500 plus 300, right, is equal to 800. 800 is 800. Stop swearing, Apple user. Apple user 584 with no followers. Okay, you're going to get blocked. Okay. So, love. Okay, yeah. Okay, great. So, ooh, did that just... That's cool. Okay, what are we doing? Okay. So then we do 4, right? What we're doing is we're understanding how to move the beads. If I have 5 on the abacus, I have 5. I want to add 4. To add the 4, I just go to the reckoning bar. That's all I'm doing. I add to the reckoning bar. So I added 4. So my final answer is 9. Because we know how to add, we know how to subtract. What does that mean? I just move it away from the reckoning bar. If I have 6 on the abacus, I want to take away 1. What am I doing? I'm taking away 1. So if I take away 1, all I do is take it away from the reckoning bar. That's it. I take it away from the horizontal bar. And so my final answer is 5. That's it. So what does that mean? So if you know how to add, you go to the horizontal bar, and then you subtract, you go away from the horizontal bar. And it's the same thing with the 2. If I have 3 on the abacus, and I take away 2, that's all I'm doing. I'm taking away 2. And that's it. So now what are we doing? We're going to do 5. Again, the same concept. If I have 1 on the abacus, I'm going to add another 3. That's what we're doing here. And then I add the 5. Just go to the horizontal bar. So, but now if I want to take away, let's say I want to take away 6. Take away 6 is minus like that. Do you see that? If I add the 6, if I have 3, I want to add the 6, I go like that. If I want to take away the 6, I move it apart. That's all I'm doing. So you know how to add the abacus, you know how to add on the abacus, you know how to subtract on the abacus. It's just the inverse, which is very different than mainstream school. Mainstream, you have another separate strategy to subtract. But in abacus, if you know how to add, you know how to subtract. And it's the same thing with the 8. If I have 1 on the abacus, I want to add 8. Adding the 8 goes like this. Subtracting the 8 goes like that. And that's what we're doing. Okay, so that was the other thing, is like mainstream math, they're like, you need to memorize your adding of the 9. I'm like, why? In abacus world, we don't need to add it. We don't need to memorize how to add it. The reason why is because our abacus shows us. If I have 2 on the abacus, I want to add 7. Oh, hey, lick. I have it, right? I have 7 on the abacus. Easy. 6. I have 3 on the abacus. I want to add 6. Oh, guess what? Just add the 6. You know what I mean? So what we do in the abacus world is that we simplify things, and we don't need to memorize a whole lot. We just need to understand how to move the beads. We add the 4, add the 5, and that's 9. That's it. So what's next? Well, what's next is now concepts. What happens when there's not enough? What happens when there's not enough? What happens when there's not enough? And I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. Nope. We're using concepts. We got to use concepts. Thank you, everybody, for joining. uh, please keep your mind open for something different.
Now open your mind to me, please. Open your mind.
Where do I go? Oh, here it is. Blackwater Swamp, do not swear. I have a bunch of kids in this room, and I don't appreciate you doing that. Do it one more time, you're out. Which book would you recommend for a kindergartner? Does your kindergartner know you're going to teach it all over again? Yes, Shar, I am. Because just like you, everybody else is a beginner. Salt, does your child know how the numbers from 1 to 99? If your child knows from 1 to 99, I would recommend the 2-digit abacus, the 2-digit bundle, which is this one right here. I'll pin it. It is number 2. It is number 2, and I pinned it. Because what we're doing is, yeah, if they know it, then I wouldn't do the preschool one. Because that one was really meant for those children that didn't know how to read, right? Or doesn't understand their numbers. But this is the 2-digit one, and talks about the 10s and the 1s. And it comes with an abacus. I pinned it to it is number 2. I pinned it to the bottom of the bottom of the page. And so it goes through, and I show you how to read the numbers, right? I show you like how to read the abacus. So here's a little walkthrough. And then I want them to color. The idea was to color. And then we have this is how how it translates the numbers, and then use the abacus to follow along. So if this is 1, right? This is 2. That's 2 on the abacus. We have 3 on the abacus. This is 4 on the abacus, right? We have 5 is the top bead. We have 6 is 1 and a 5. Yeah, right? 1 and 5, 5 and 1. We have 7, 2 and 5, and then we have 8. 8 looks like that. 5 and 3, and then we have 9, 5 and 4. So when we're looking, right, then we start talking about the place values of 10. So we have our 10s. We have our 2, 20. So 20 and then 8. That's what I would do. Yeah, thank you, Everpaul. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You can read the abacus, right? And so, and then this is kind of the boring part. But see, there's a mask maze, and that's what I was using to cover it up. And then you have the option to download it. The reason why is because the paper is a little thin, so you get the option to download this. It is free. Just download it, right? And then what happens is you can print it on a thicker paper, and then you can use it to cover the numbers. So this is the maze, and so all you got to do is just cover up the paths. That's what I would do. And then use the abacus like I showed you guys. Use the abacus to mimic it, because the idea is to recognize what it looks like on the abacus. Yeah? And then we're going to go into understanding how to make a 5. Do we have time? Actually, we don't have time. This is as far as I can go. So thank you, Starlight. Yeah, thank you. So and then there's two sets of mazes. This is the one maze. Tell me what the number is, and then find the path. Right? This is find the path. But then the next one is, if I give you the path, tell me what the number is. So this one is, I give you the path, I give you the number 74. You have to write 74 here. So then here you go here, right? If this number is 16, color in the beads of 16. That's what that means. And then again, right? So that's what this is. This is what I call a reverse maze. There's an explanation at the back there's an explanation in the beginning of the chapter. And so it was trying to find a different way of explaining how to do the beads. And then if you're ever interested, I do have the answers in the back of the book. These are the answers in the back of the book. And then after this, then I would start going into adding and subtracting. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I do have to head out. I have another meeting to get ready for. Thank you so much for joining. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. So yeah, because your kindergarten already knows the numbers. I wouldn't do preschool. It's really meant for smaller kids and to practice their numbers. And then yeah, and then try to get them to color. What are the dots on the? Oh, the dot. This dot. What are the spots? What are the spots to the right of the dot? Hello, 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 Sir Patrick. Hello. Good evening. Is it evening for you? This is the decimals. Oh, here it is. This is the decimals. So when we look at it, we have our ones. Have you gone live yet, Sir Patrick? We have our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. After the ones is our decimals. So we have our ones, tenths, and then hundreds. Why haven't you gone live yet, Sir Patrick? Still making an effort to get things in place. Oh my God, just do it. Just do it. Don't wait. Thanks. I thought it wasn't. Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem, Car. Because when we're looking, it's something different. But okay, because you notice that there's a dot, right? And there's a dot here. This is my thousands. So this thousand's like a comma, just like how we do our commas. But here, this gets even better. We have our 6,000, right? Our comma. It's our 600. Well, guess what? If I decide to use this as my ones place, then I can go here. We have our ones and our tens. So now what does that mean? Now I have all of this to be my decimals. So if you have a really small number like 1,000, like 1.000, we have 1.00001. Does that make sense, Car cuff? So it doesn't matter where our ones place is. We just need to choose one. Yeah. So it would look like that. We have our ones, right? Ones, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Let me see if I can. Is it a multi-guest or is it a host? I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to bring you on, Sir Patrick. There you go. There's the invite. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Did that work? No, that didn't work. Uh-oh. Okay. Kharkov. Kharkov, did that make sense? So it just, you can change any one of these dot indicators to be your ones place. Did I not? Oh, I sent it. Yeah. And then what else? That's it. Yeah. Because then the next thing would be understand that there's a 13 column abacus. And a 13 column abacus is just the same. Just, size matters because it's 13 columns. What else? What else? Hello, everybody. Hello, my name is Lynette. I am an abacus teacher. I am here to teach the matrix what an abacus is.
Welcome to the real world.
All right. I am going to head out. I need to turn off my live. I get ready for a meeting. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If there's any pending questions, let me know. Forever hold your beat. No, I'm kidding. I will be back on later. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a good morning. Have a good night. Have a good evening. Bye. Bye, Mac Mooney. Welcome back. I just joined. Sorry. Follow me, and you can follow me on. You can find my next live. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. See you later, Everpaul. Hopefully, we're going to get into adding and subtracting. Thank you, everybody, for joining. See you later. Bye. Just purchased. Oh, great. Wait, are you looking for... You're looking for 2 Abacus, Starlight? Or 1? I just want to make sure. I guess for one for you and one for the child. Oh, I see, I see, I see. Yeah, okay. Okay, great. I just want to make sure that it wasn't a mistake. Um, but does the preschooler also know how to read the numbers? Oh, and if you're ever interested, I do have my other books available here. I've been teaching Abacus for about 20 years. Yeah, yeah. I'm still building out more, not yet. When will other be done? Sunday? Sunday. It will be available Sunday. I'm hoping that the shipment will come in. I have it on order, but I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. Yeah, Sunday. I'm hoping Sunday. Whew, my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Thank you so much, Salt. Okay, I can order. Okay, okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, good. How did you get so good at math? Uncle's favorite. Practice. All you got to do is practice. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you all in my next live. Bye, everybody.